High school football is back on Beaver Media and the Delco Preps channel. Tonight from Royerton, Indiana, it's Hoosier Heritage Conference football as the Newcastle Trojans take on the Delta Eagles. Good evening and hi again, everyone. Brian Beaver along with you again tonight. Thanks for riding along in the co-pilot chair for the next couple of hours as we hit week 6 of the high school football season. Hard to believe that we are at the 2/3 mark of the regular season tonight. It won't be long before we're thinking about state tournament football, but for tonight, it's a battle of teams being led by young sophomore quarterbacks, both of them sophomores. Of course, if you're a Delta fan, you know about Caden Bond. And on the Newcastle side, sophomore by the name of Tyson Lewis will do the honors tonight. This will be just his third game as a quarterback. The start of the season found Eli Cooper. Injury has sidelined Cooper, and it's Lewis who's the top gun right now. He led them to last week's victory over Yorktown. So he's a talented young man who can play the game, and it'll be interesting to see which of these two young guys can lead his team to victory tonight. When you look at how this stacks up, Newcastle comes in 2-3 overall, 1-1 in Hoosier Heritage Conference play. 2-3 doesn't really light your pilot light from a record standpoint until you stop to think about narrow losses to Pendleton Heights and 4-1 overall at this point in the season. They're playing pretty good football for Kyle York, who's done a fantastic job turning his program around down in Newcastle, of getting that program turned around. I told someone earlier, each on any given night, and it's a quality football team tonight on the field here in Royerton to take on Delta. It's been a strange kind of a season. Delta goes 3-0. They outstretch, and they are on the verge of losing 3 straight for the first time in Chris Overholt's tenure. They've never lost 3 in a row in the Overholt era. We'll see if the Eagles can respond here tonight. You kind of heavy, explosive offense team that rolled through its first 3 opponents by almost 100 points, or you're scoring 58 points over 2 games. You're scoring plenty, but you can't give up 84 over 2 games. And granted, you played a pretty good Mount Vernon team last week. Mount Vernon is legit top 10 quality, but you can't give up that many points and hope to be competitive. And I'm sure that's been a point of emphasis this week for the coaching staffs, and especially for the coaching staff here at Delta, trying to get the defense to understand we can bend, we can't break, and we have to make sure we give ourselves a chance to win. We can't let those points pile up on the opposing side quite the way they have in recent days. We mentioned that the teams both have young sophomore quarterbacks. Caden Bond has been pretty solid for Delta. He's thrown 6 touchdowns against 2 interceptions, and he's scored 3 touchdowns on the ground himself. So he's accorded himself pretty well for Chris Overholt's team. You talk about explosive plays. Delta has tended to score quickly on drives that don't take many plays because they've had explosive big play scoring plays by and large this year. A good example is 2 weeks ago tonight here against Yorktown, when Delta received the opening kickoff, ran for 2 yards on first down from the 20, and on 2nd and 8 from the 22, a 78-yard touchdown pass on a bubble screen to Abram Stitt. And before the seats were even warm, it was 7-0 Delta, less than 45 seconds into that game. So time and time again, the Tigers, or rather the Eagles, have been able to put up some big play scores, and that's great. It's a nice card to have in your hand, but you might want to have more sustained drives to limit the other team's time of possession and possessions. And it's a tough mix. It's hot. As a coaching staff, you sit down and say, how can we continue to be explosive without putting our defense out there for really long stretches of time, because they're going to wear down eventually. And, they've done a pretty stellar job for what they've been asked to do. This is I think, on balance, a pretty good Delta defense. And it's tough to really get an accurate read on where they fall. Are they a 5-point-a-game defense? Probably not. But are they going to allow 42 points a game? No. They just went up against a really good team last week in Mount Vernon. And, of course, 28-27 in overtime is anybody's game on any night. So I think the Eagles are probably going to bounce back tonight and play much better. This is homecoming night, by the way. Football homecoming night 2021 for Delta. So the halftime will be a little bit longer than usual in this one tonight. And nice crowd is starting to file in. The weather is not an issue at all in terms of rain or any threat for lightning or any delays. We're not going to have any of that. The sun is setting, and it is going to get cool. It's chilly out there now with a nice strong breeze blowing from south to north here at the stadium. And anyone who didn't bring a jacket's going to be cold from about halftime on as you sit here tonight in the stadium. Great having you along. The band has made its way onto the field. Newcastle coming out of the north end zone in road whites. Delta about to come out in their home navy blues. We'll take our first break. When we come back, we'll have the starting lineups and the opening kickoff of this one. It's Newcastle against Delta on Beaver Media and the Delco Preps channel.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes in Indiana are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association. There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. There's just one place where a team is more than a group of individual agendas. It's a catalyst for demonstrating the potential of the